Yeah, my Uncle Fred. He was the first one to show me End Zone 2. He had like a really faded and scratch. Oh, it was jacked up. 16 millimeter copy.
End Zone 2. Wow. Whatever happened to End Zone 2?
To be totally honest with you, I think the first End Zone movie is much, much better than the second.
End Zone 2 is far superior to End Zone 1.
My earliest memory of End Zone 1 and 2, funny enough, because I saw them both at the same time, was at a drive-in theater. They played them as a double feature. I was no older than 2 when my parents had me in the back of the station wagon for this thing. And they had to play both movies back to back just to fill 90 minutes slot.
End Zone 2 is the slasher equivalent of Jaws to shark movies, or The Exorcist to exorcism movies.
They were the first to make it clear that 400-pound pieces of beef crashing their heads together on the football field might just possibly lead to brain damage.
Smash Mouth is a really unique character in horror. He's the first living zombie, if you think about it. He's kind of an undead.
Everyone goes on and on about Smash Mouth. Well, I've always had a thing for the cheerleaders, especially Mary.
Why do these movies always have to have so much killing in them? Have a story. I don't like all the killing.
It definitely never came out on DVD. I don't know that there was a VHS of it. There may have been. I didn't have it. A buddy of mine had a bootleg of it, but I think it was only just the first hour.
I guess I always fell asleep about 1 hour into it.
Well, maybe 5 people saw it. If take away the usher, 4.
There were distributors that wanted to distribute the film, first on VHS, and then there was another one on DVD a few years ago, but they can never locate the last 30 minutes of the film.
We couldn't find the last 30 minutes, and therefore we had to give the rights back.
The movie just disappeared.
In 1955, the George Donner High School football team lost the big game. They beat freshman Jimmy Smash until he was hardly recognizable.
You people broke his goddamn jaw. Can't even eat like a regular person.
But Jimmy recovered. Jimmy Smash became Smash Mouth and got his revenge.
Did they ever find Jimmy?
Who, Smash Mouth? He died in the fire.
I heard they never found his body.
Now, 15 years later.
It's really nice to be here with you, Nancy. We missed you. We should just have some fun. We deserve it. I've been coming out here for years. I've never seen that before.
What in tarnation?
You guys remember AJ? Him and Jimmy were always hanging out together, right?
Jimmy was like my brother. I kept him safe.
Smash Mouth is back.
Do you still have a thing for him?
Jimmy, it's me. It's me, Nancy.
This time, the cheerleaders who stopped him
I still remember the knife going into her.
will face their greatest fears.
You will know pain and suffering and blood.
Don't close your eyes. Don't cover your ears. And whatever you do, don't open your mouth. In Zone 2, get smashed.
Yeah. I'm waiting on this banner. What banner? For End Zone 2. The fucking movie that you and maybe like 6 other people heard of. The great reunion that no one asked for. I don't fucking know. Look, no. Shut up. Get us a fucking banner, don't get us a banner, I don't give a fuck. But you wire the fucking money right now, okay?
Sean got a print from of End Zone 2 from a Grindhouse theater on 42nd Street. And when he showed it to us several times, it was just the first hour. And none of us could figure out why he only had the first hour.
Before we filmed, we would watch daily. We would watch at least the first hour of End Zone 2, but that was it. I didn't need to see any more.
Not a lot of people saw End Zone 2, but those who did, they created the slasher genre.
Basically, you know, Wes, Sean, Toby, you know, all of them are huge fans. Well, maybe not Wes.
The thing that will stand the test of time in any horror movie is the script, which the author writes.
Me and the guys had a wild time at the drive-in. We had a drinking game that every time Smash Mouth took a drink of blended cheerleader, we'd take a shot. Blended cheerleader, take a shot. Whoa!
I would say the main thesis or metaphor or however you want to like get critical or like, you know, archer theory about like End Zone, I would say it's really about Vietnam and the horrors of war. Smash Mouth is just like, it's kind of a mix of Martin Sheen and Marlon Brando's character from Apocalypse Now, except he's dressed as a football player.
End Zone 2 may be the first slasher that actually passes the Bechdel test.
Hey, Shelley, can I talk to you for a minute?
I'm happily retired, but you know, every once in a while, I dream of writing the remake of End Zone.
To have written a screenplay like End Zone 2, oh man, so motivating, so inspiring. That's my white whale.
My son will come for you. He will find you. He will avenge me.
Hi, my name is Percy Wynn. I play Nancy in End Zone 2. It's been interesting.
Go away!
You know, there was a rumor that Sally Field was going to play Nancy in End Zone 2.
I was at a birthday party and we were watching some kind of like Sally Field TV show, and by mistake her dad put in the last 10 minutes of End Zone 2. Most of the kids were traumatized, but me, I was like, I love it. I couldn't stop yelling, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Yeah, it was good.
So I was invited back to Mad Monster Party, really excited about it. To get my press pass, they want me to host a panel. I was like, awesome, let's do Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. And like, no, we gotta do End Zone 2. And I was like, what is End Zone 2? So I tried to find the movie. I can't even find a copy of it to watch. The stars of the movie, the one guy, Mash Mouth, he's not credited in anything but End Zone 2, and the other guy, I don't even know his name, he's not credited in anything. Not even End Zone 2, the movie we're supposed to talk about. What am I even gonna ask these guys?
We're doing a reboot sequel of the movie End Zone 2, and it's gonna be called End Zone. It takes place 1 hour after End Zone 2 starts and ignores everything that happens in the last part of that movie. And End Zone 3 and End Zone 3D.
Actually, End Zone 3 was not part of the canon anyway. It was just a retitled Italian movie called Cannibal Linebacker. It doesn't even have Smash Mouth in
It doesn't even have Smash Mouth in it. Shut up, Snifflin. Point is, this movie picks up exactly where my nephew Johnny said the last movie went wrong.
You remember, right? Yeah.
Smash Mouth was originally played by Mikey Smash.
Mikey? Mikey was an asshole.
Weird guy.
Mikey Smash was the weirdest person I ever met.
Mikey disappeared under suspicious circumstances in the early 70s.
I was actually supposed to play his brother in a Canadian ninja film, but right before we were supposed to start, I heard that he died, that he got shot and fell into a lake.
Mikey Smash died in '71 in a car crash. Same Porsche that James Dean died in.
Mikey died in a Ferris wheel accident.
Mikey died of rabies, right? It was, and in fact, I had heard it was from him eating an animal's heart, which, by the way, incredibly influential on my work.
Yeah, Mikey died in the 70s. He was protesting Vietnam, the country, not the war.
He died in the 80s, disco fire.
Well, he definitely died in the 70s sometime. You know, he's no longer with us. Mikey has left the building.
AJ.
Pick up that bag. I don't want those wheels to wear out.
I heard Mikey was decapitated. You better come hard or come correct.
What Mikey brought to film was proof positive that it's not the costume, that it's not some guy in it, some schmuck in a costume or under makeup. It's the person. It's the essence underneath all of that drives it.
It doesn't matter who wears the mask. Nobody cares who's wearing the mask.
You can put any jackass in a mask, but it takes real talent to make it special.
The mask is the only thing that matters. The actors do not matter at all.
It's really creepy that mouth guy pretends he was in the movie.
Would you say William Mouth?
Is that the guy who goes around conventions pretending he played Smash Mouth in End Zone 2?
You keep shouting this line, touchdown.
But just like in Casablanca with Play It Again, Sam, or Star Trek with Beam Me Up, Scotty, nobody ever said that.
It's not in the movie.
Terrible tagline.
Terrible.
I would never have a character yell touchdown in the middle of a horror movie.
Touchdown! Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Let's try something like touchdown and let's dance.
Touchdown! 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 Touchdown!
I am Jackie J. Jackson. I am a big-time celebrity manager. I guess I really only have two clients, Mikey Smash and William Mouth, but I've been managing both Mikey and William's careers for the last 5 years. I guess they really don't have careers per se.
Touchdown!
It's kind of disturbing someone claiming credit for playing a role in a film, in an iconic film no less, when it was actually played by somebody else.
Mikey Smash was Smash Mouth. This is not debatable.
He keeps calling me and claiming that we went to college together. I have no memory of him whatsoever.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
There are rumors that there's a remake in the works of End Zone 2. They've asked me to be in it. And no, I don't think so.
I've been calling my agent to get me in the room to audition for Smash Mouth.
I got a crossover idea for the remake, and it's called, ready? Maniac Jock.
Let's just say Smash Mouth in space.
Dead End Zone.
I'd love to audition for the role of Backwoods Bob in the remake. This character personified all the horror and terror that could be waiting for your kids if they make the wrong decision.
Ribbit.
I would kill for a shot. Backwoods Brenda in the reboot.
I'm hoping to play AJ in the remake.
This isn't high school. It's after high school.
Wait, is he in the remake?
I'm gonna send in an audition to play Smash before he has a broken jaw.
I think I could play Smash Mouth much better than Mikey. Why? Can you hear that? I have TMJ, and I can't fucking get rid of it.
I've got some great ideas for the Smash Mouth reboot. Okay, catch this. Smash Mouth literally transfers his soul with a lateral pass. And that's coming from the guy who made Jason a Deadite. And that's canon, bitches.
So, the convention said in order to announce N-Zone 3, we had to send at least 2 people to do a panel. Mikey wasn't doing anything else anyway. We tried to get the actor who played Angela, but she was a little weird.
I can relate to Angela, because as a mother, I'm always trying to find food for my kids.
This other guy kept calling Willie Mouse when he found out we were doing N-Zone 3. He says he played Smash Mouth in N-Zone 2, but he wasn't in the credits. But since we had to send at least 2 people, we sent him. We didn't even have to pay either of them. Once Mr. Brandon promised it could be their audition for N-Zone 3, they were willing to do it for free. I wonder which one he's going to pick to play Smash Mouth.
Both Mikey and William are not being paid to be here. And it's the Smash Blender guy that's making the remake or the sequel, or I don't know what it is.
Technically it's N-Zone 3, but we're not calling it N-Zone 3. And it's not the N-Zone 3 they made in the 80s or the N-Zone 3D they made in the 80s. No, this is a completely different N-Zone that takes place 1 hour into N-Zone 2.
He told them that this was the audition for the new Smash Mouth. So they both think they're getting the part.
I have been calling Smash Blender every day for my half-hour lunch break, trying to convince Mr. Brandon to let one of them have the role of Smash Mouth in the reboot sequel that takes place after the first hour of N-Zone 2. And they haven't called me back yet, but Ms. Crump, his intern, seems to really think he would be into it.
Touchdown!
Sorry I got a little angry before. Smash Blender asked us to do this N-Zone 2 reunion. And I mean, we do reunions all the time. They were supposed to send us a banner, handle everything, pay us. We were supposed to get money for this. Never happened. Has anyone even heard of N-Zone 2?
I got a lot of friends, but it's only a small, very special group that have also seen N-Zone 2. Because those guys, those are my real friends.
I mean, I don't think this is any secret that Adam Marcus and I have never gotten along. I mean, we both struggle over who made the best Jason movie. It just never meshed until we found out that we're both N-Zone 2 fans. And we've been brothers ever since.
Have you seen Todd Farmer's Smash Mouth tattoo?
My first tattoo was Smash Mouth. Hey, look, I'll show you. Oh, can we put dick on this? Is it?
I'm one of the 3 people that's seen it.
So, back in the day, people used this viral marketing stuff and flash mobs, but that stuff is for boomers, so I invented something completely new.
It was my idea.
Fan clubs. Completely new invention. And we just hired a bunch of guys to pretend they're huge fans of N-Zone to create organic buzz. That's called synergy.
I don't think that we actually hired them, legally speaking. We would have to pay them at least minimum wage.
Well, I guess it just depends on how many horse amphetamines add up to minimum wage, so.
N-Zone is a fascinating horror series. The original, of course, was shot in 1964 during the football revenge craze.
The whole football revenge movie genre is one of the more interesting ones that popped up and kind of disappeared, but there were some die-hard classics that came out.
Confessions of a Psycho Kicker.
I Was a Teenage Quarterback.
Faster Running Back, Kill Kill.
Death Line of Scrimmage.
Gridiron Massacre.
I Blitz on Your Grave.
It's like, I don't know how you mix football and violence and Vietnam and make them all work in all these movies.
My Bloody Valentine was originally conceived as a curling slasher where the killer pushed the heads of the victims down the ice with a broom. But by then, the sports slasher craze was over, so up came the holiday slasher.
Warren Q. Harold was a pesticide salesman from a small town in New York called Penn Yan, who thought he could make some easy money in the drive-in circuit with a rip-off film.
Harold's basically found an 8mm camera at a pawn shop, reached out to some community theater students, and made a masterpiece.
You know, I remember getting this 8mm canister for the film End Zone, which is odd because most drive-ins aren't equipped to project 8mm films.
So the movie is a terrible disaster. Everyone hated the big reveal that the killer was actually Smash Mouth's mother.
The thing about End Zone is the twist ending, and at the time, it just didn't work. No one wanted to see the mom as the killer. I mean, people were pissed off. I've read news articles where apparently people would throw things at the screen. I heard a drive-in burn down.
I think it was brilliant that the mother is the killer.
So we actually had a commercial 8mm projector here at the drive-in, which meant End Zone could play the B after all of these great football films that came through. John Goldfarb, Please Come Home. What was that other one? Paper Lion. No, Alan Alda. Fantastic in that.
I saw End Zone with a double feature with Paper Lion.
Smash Mouth is a metaphor for all of the horrific injuries that our American soldiers sustained in the Vietnam War.
In order for movies to run a drive-in, it has to be at least 60 minutes long. End Zone is only 30 minutes long, so we had a scheme that would allow it to hit that 60-minute minimum.
So the big idea was, since the movie was 30 minutes long, he would just tell them, play it twice in a row. But I think playing it twice kind of added to the whole Vietnam metaphor, because you got to see the cycle of violence over and over again. It was just like watching the news in the 60s. It just kept hitting you. And End Zone just hit you that hard, just like Smash Mouth hit you that hard.
I learned to use the blender by watching End Zone.
To this day, I still get chills when I hear the roar of a blender.
The drive-ins were saturated with much better films than End Zone, so really they had no interest in showing the film.
Unfortunately, Harold's was forced to put the 200 prints that he'd struck into storage. In 1965, there was an electrical short at the vault at MGM, and a massive fire broke out. Now, the fire not only destroyed MGM films, but an entire season of foreign films that had been brought to the United States to play in the art house circuit by Eurocontinental Films. So Eurocontinental CEO Jacques Renault had no idea what to do. He needed something to send to the art house theaters.
The films, they have a burned. I have no idea what to do.
Then he had an idea.
Oh, but wait, I have an idea.
For you see, Jacques had accidentally picked up a print of End Zone while buying pornographic loops in a seedy alleyway.
Psst, Mr. Jack, I think you might take a gander at this one. It just came in, and I hear it's very special indeed, if you know what I mean. Oh, I do know what you mean, for I understand insinuation.
Needless to say, Jacques was at first disappointed.
Needless to say, I am at first disappointed by this movie.
But his mood soon turned.
Oh, this Smasher Mouth is very funny. He murders the American football players in such entertaining ways. Such a silly sport.
He didn't even mind the twist that Smash Mouth's mother was the real killer. He didn't even mind that Smash Mouth's mother was barely mentioned in the movie before the end.
This twist with her mother, I did not mind it, even though she is not mentioned before the end.
Jacques bought the rights to the film and distributed it in art house theaters in the United States, billing it as a hilarious satire of the American obsession with sports.
And so, the movie was a hit. And under the lens of satire, was actually pretty clever, even if it wasn't intentional.
This is one of the biggest, heartfelt Vietnam movies ever made, and you're just doing it for laughs. No one's laughing at Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now. No one's laughing at the dude in Rolling Thunder after he lost his hand. No one's laughing at Rambo in First Blood.
Oh, good morning, sir. How may I help you?
Touchdown!
Well, our television service does have all the major cable channels, many of which show all the regularly scheduled NFL games. Does that answer your question, sir?
Touchdown!
I want to check in.
Oh, okay. I just need an ID and major credit card.
I'm with the convention.
I just still need to see an ID and major credit card just to process the room.
ID.
Okay, great. And a major credit card.
I don't have credits.
You know, that's not a problem, right? We can just take a $200 cash deposit. It's just for incidentals and damages.
This is all I have.
Okay. Well, since you're with the convention, we can just put the incidental charge on their bill.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
I'm afraid I don't see a William Matheson in our system, though.
It could be under William Mouth.
I just need an ID with that name on it, though, to check you in.
Well, I changed my name, but not legally because it was too expensive. I was in End Zone 2, Smash Mouth, touchdown.
Oh, End Zone 2, yes. I believe I saw the first hour of that. But didn't Mikey Smash play Smash Mouth in that?
We both did.
What about Sneed Crump?
He was in End Zone 1.
You know, maybe I saw the first hour of that one.
Well, it was only 30 minutes long, but they used to show it 2 times in a row.
All right. You know what? We can check you in. We'll put the liability on the convention, and we'll be all set.
By the way, I had 2 packages delivered here. Were they, did they arrive?
Yes, you did get 2 packages. One was picked up and signed for about an hour ago.
Who signed for it?
William Mouth.
Well, I never got it. What about the other package?
Well, the other one, it seems we were told to open and throw in the trash.
I didn't tell you to do that.
Hey gang, it's Evan with Mad Monster Party, and I just want to welcome you all and say thanks for being here for Mad Monster Party's 10th year. We've got a lot of exciting things happening, a special Friday the 13th, Part 13, Pamela's Revenge panel on Sunday. An old versus new My Bloody Valentine cast hug-off war benefiting the Scares That Care charity. And of course, our big event on Saturday, a very special reunion and future franchise plans announcement for End Zone 2.
Just make sure they're neat. They've got to be neat or the kids won't buy them.
Yes, Mikey.
That's Mr. Smash.
Yes, Mr. Smash.
It's difficult when your only 2 clients both hate each other and really you can't be in the same room together. And I mean that by court decree. But I think that this convention announcement is going to be a really big break for one of them. Probably pretty life-destroying for the other one. Neither one really has a life anyway, so I'm just glad they got him separate tables.
Mr. Smash, I do have a little bit of bad news.
I don't like any kind of news.
I think we have to share this table with William.
No.
I don't think there's a choice.
Let me consider this. No.
Smash Mouth has this sidekick named AJ.
I'm almost, in this context, offended by the term sidekick. He was an equal partner.
You kill people, I get it.
Jimmy's gotta eat.
I really love the name AJ. So, hey, I started going by the name VC. I mean, AJ, VC.
The whole idea about Smash Mouth is he was bullied and becomes a monster and gets revenge. He becomes a hero.
AJ was really his only friend.
Yeah, kind of late in the development of My Bloody Valentine, they ran into budget cuts. So they had to write the minor sidekick CJ out.
AJ is Smash's chop top.
I promised my father on his deathbed that I'd always be Smash Mouth's sidekick. It's completely ridiculous, because he plays AJ in the movie, and then he names me after the character. People always say, what does AJ stand for? It doesn't stand for anything, except maybe an unhealthy obsession with a movie that no one's even seen. AJ loses his leg in the movie. I coincidentally lost my leg as a child. It's humiliating.
Smash is my best friend. I'm gonna be there for him for the rest of my life. And my children are gonna be there for him too.
I just wanted to be an aerospace engineer.
Randall lost his leg in Vietnam.
Tex just cast him because he wanted to cut down on the special effects costs.
I thought that was a great gag. I wrote it right in the script. Perfect.
Randall had a son. He named him AJ.
Not AJ Browning, just AJ. That's his name.
AJ the Kid was named after AJ the character.
Randall Browning cuts his kid's leg off by accident.
You don't cut your kid's leg off by accident.
In 1990, there was a court case against that guy, Randall Browning.
Oh, Browning, yeah. This guy cut the leg off his kid, JJ, so he'd look more like a horror movie character that he was named after. And this isn't The Exorcist or some acclaimed film classic. This is something called Touchdown 2 or something about a football player zombie. But because we all make a living on a corrupt justice system, I got Randall off on a technicality. Had to be humiliating for that JJ kid, though. But I got paid. Didn't even charge him an arm and a leg. Just the leg!
Basically, because of my father's role in N-Zone 2, I have to perpetuate this sidekick legacy. He called it the family business.
Yes, Father. I swear I will fist Smash Mouth as long as I'm on this earth.
I mean, I guess I'll have to keep my promise and put aerospace engineering on hold at least until Mikey dies, which I hope will be soon.
That's my impression of AJ dying in N-Zone 2.
We have seen N-Zone 2 500 times this year alone!
Seriously!
But yeah, I mean, we're really excited, man. We just want to know who's going to play Smash Mouth in the sequel. We hear they're going to hold auditions during the panel. We're ready.
I'm going to see if I can get paid in horse amphetamines instead of end zone posters.
Look at how foxy we are in our uniforms.
You'll never catch me in a skirt again. We had our whole lives ahead of us. We still do.
My name is Melanie Riviera, and I loved working on this project. In fact, it's my first feature, and I'm so glad to be with a cast and crew.
N-Zone 3 is actually pretty good. And I'm talking about the real N-Zone 3, N-Zone 3D.
Not the Italian N-Zone 3, that's just Cannibal Linebacker retitled.
N-Zone 3 Cannibal Linebacker is one of my favorite movies, and I actually think it's Claudio Fragasso's best movie. It has everything he does well. It has action, it has gore, it has sex, it has everything you want in a great exploitation movie about football and possibly Vietnam.
E non me ne frega un cazzo di questo film, ma che voglio fare questo piatto italiano.
Rosella Drudy's Cannibal Linebacker script is awesome. It is the high benchmark of the N-Zone series.
Ciao, sono la sceneggiatrice del film Hands On Free, sequel del notissimo film Hands On 2. Il film sulla storia del football, ma il football americano in sé, proprio non mi piace, proprio mi dà fastidio. Scusate, io amo il calcio italiano, sono tifosa della Roma ed infatti questo è il motivo per il quale ho cercato di farlo, proprio perché non lo sopporto, lo devo esorcizzare. Amare il disgusto o non amarlo? Questo è il problema. Ho deciso di amarlo.
It's kind of interesting that like some of the script from Cannibal Linebacker actually ended up being reused in Troll 2. You know, the whole angle where like the cannibal only eats vegetarians, like that was first done in End Zone 3.
I'm a huge 3D guy, and so I cannot wait for one of these labels to put out End Zone 3D in actual 3D.
Enzo 3D is actually the worst of the series. Like, they didn't even bother to do any makeup to make him look like Smash Mouth. They just hired some dick and a beard.
End Zone 3D.
Even Cannibal Linebacker was better than that quick cash grab.
It makes the rest of us who have made 3D sequels look pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we had to deny Man-Spider a second table. You know, Man-Spider, you know, comic people actually care about and heard of, to make room for this End Zone 2 reunion. The great reunion that no one asked for, because no one's seen this friggin' film. And so far, not only did they not even bother sending a banner, we didn't even get the money we were promised.
The convention called and said they had to take away one of the tables because you never paid.
I'm not hearing anything I care about.
Their manager said that as long as you don't put Mikey Smash and Willie Mouse at the same table, it's fine.
I don't know what that means.
Sorry about the mix-up, Mr. Mouth. It's just I've never heard of you and no one in the security center has either.
It's okay. Happens a lot. Oh, no. This is my table.
I'm told the production company didn't pay the bill. They need the table for extra Man-Spider merch. You're gonna have to share the table with Mr. Mouth here.
AJ.
Okay, it's fine. We'll take care of it. Mikey, he just likes his space. It's fine. It's fine.
Can you move the blender, AJ? Thanks. You get that part.
I'm sorry.
Oh, those cheerleaders didn't deserve to be blended up and eaten.
If just one of those cheerleaders gave Jimmy a Valentine, things might have worked out.
Hey, Marty, how are you?
Fine. I'm here just getting the rights to Man-Spider for the Origin Trilogy. I'm sure you saw on Variety I just sold the rights to my film, Land of the Living Ghost Eunuchs, to Disney.
My card.
Well, thanks.
Marty here is one of the greatest directors I've ever worked with. We only did one project, but he really knew how to get the best performance out of me. It was a huge moment in my career. Would you like to mega-size your fries?
You were in that commercial?
Well, my part got cut. I mean, I didn't exactly have a part, but I was there.
Thanks for bringing up a terrible memory for me.
Hey,
Good talking to you.
Hey, Marty, maybe you got a spot for me in the next movie? My ex-wife always said I was a great ghost eunuch. Well, she didn't say the ghost part, but...
Only like 15 to 20 people have seen End Zone 2, but I'm told that some of those people made a movie or did a really important thing with their lives because of it. Or something.
I loved End Zone 2 so much, I had to make a film with Zone in the title.
Oh, back then, everybody was putting Zone at the end of all their titles.
Leatherface was basically, you know, a Smash Mouth ripoff.
I mean Nancy and Nancy. Hello?
Smash Mouth can't talk. Leatherface can't talk. They're both cannibals, and they hated the football team.
Texas 1 was like, End Zone 1. Texas 2 was End Zone 2.
Leatherhead, Leatherface, nobody tried to hide it.
Let's face it, most sequel movies stole the idea of doing a part 2 from End Zone 2.
Even though Freddy had the hat and glove, Smash had the helmet and the football, but there was one thing that they had major in common. It was Vietnam.
I mean, End Zone 2 is tremendously influential. The first hour of it actually is influential. I don't know any director who, at that time, who didn't use Smash Mouth as a point of reference for performers. You would give the simple direction of attack like Smash Mouth, run like Smash Mouth, scream like Smash Mouth.
It was always see what Smash Mouth does here, do that.
I mean, it's just a really good shorthand.
Wes hated Smash Mouth. Told me that he was in the Village one night and he walked into a theater and caught the last 20 minutes of End Zone 2, and he freaked out. Because all they were yelling was touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Touchdown! Only $20. I'll sign it even.
Who are you?
I played Smash Mouth in End Zone 2.
That's the one where you're the football guy, right?
Exactly.
I only watched like an hour of it.
I was only in the end part. You want to buy a shirt?
No thanks.
Let's go see that guy from I Made a Warm Cozy Quilt Out of Your Skin while we wait for the Man Spider panel.
That quilt skin movie was awesome. I saw that whole movie.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
End Zone? I love this movie. It's a classic. I've still got the canister. My parents claim they sold the print to Andy Warhol. I call bullshit.
200 prints are struck. That's all there is. And who buys 150 of those prints? Andy Warhol.
Apparently, Andy Warhol just purchased 150 of the 200 prints of End Zone. I don't know why. I guess he was just a super fan. I don't really see him as a big Vietnam guy or a football guy, but...
End Zone? That was Andy's favorite film.
I guess Warhol didn't need the canister because he wasn't interested in preserving the film.
It's been rumored that Warhol just basically chopped up all the copies of End Zone they had and started mixing them together in other projects. Sometimes for film loops he was doing, other times he would just include them in paintings.
So Warhol would take groups of 8mm frames from End Zone, and he would splice them together to make them into 16mm frames, which was his preferred format. That's the format that his films were in.
Several copies of Warhol's Outer and Inner Space were found with frames of End Zone spliced in.
Thousands of art consumers in the 60s and 70s, they probably saw scenes from the original End Zone and had absolutely no idea what they were looking at.
Outer and Inner Space is a masterpiece because of E.D., but also because of Smash.
Besides Warhol, I think the rest of the prints went to people who collected rare loops, and I think Vietnam enthusiasts, collectors, fetishists, whatever you want to call them. It's a weird market.
I have heard that the last screening of End Zone 1, the original End Zone, was at the Liberty in 1971. It was a kinescope print. It was a bootleg. And it ran before the second or third run of End Zone 2 for a few weeks.
I don't think an original print was shown after Jacques Renault died in 1969.
I was given the rights to make End Zone 2 from this French fella named Jacques Reno.
He died on this very same table. I got his contract right here. He wrote it on a napkin, and he signed it with his hand right there. He already had finished the first hour, but then I took over producing. I was a big fan of cannibalism, but I thought this film needed more football.
I would never say anything bad about anyone that I'd worked with, but Mikey's
great. No, I can't lie. He's a complete jerk. He treats Randall like he really is his assistant, and it's making everybody really uncomfortable.
So I replaced the so-so actor with a smash mouth who knew how to yell, touchdown!
Touchdown! I keep telling William he's got to drop the touchdown thing. Yes, the last 30 minutes of Endzone 2 is just Smash Mouth yelling touchdown a lot. Or so I hear. I haven't actually seen that part. I've only seen the first hour. But William swears that touchdown is his, here's looking at you, kid. Or his I'll be back. Or his run for your lives, children, it's a cannibal linebacker. But it's just not.
Mikey's making me enter the stupid Mad Monster costume contest as Smash Mouth. No one here has heard of Endzone 2.
Let's get this party started. The winner gets $500. 500 smackaroos can buy a lot of peanut butter and banana sandwiches. You know what I'm saying, baby? This guy knows what I'm talking about. All right, baby, let's bring out the first ugly creature thing. Come on up. We got one of them illegal aliens. Yay or nay? What are we supposed to be besides ugly?
Smash Mouth.
You are not an all-star. They say nay, take a hang ugly. Now wait, let me explain this. Even if you are a stupendous loser like yourself, now what you're gonna do is stand over there and get a nice picture taken for the interwebs. Now go over there and get a brand new picture. No, you're terrible. I said you go over there. Next. You know, I found my thrill. Oh, there's more. Just wait. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of $500. The illegal aliens. Now you can get a green card. Welcome to America, Mr. Alien. You did it. Congratulations. We have a winner. Great job, everybody. You were great. Not as great as this alien, but you were great. And now we're gonna bring out the worst costume. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring out the worst costume. We've got the biggest loser right here. Come here. Boo this costume that you guys hated the most. I want to hear boos and horrible yells, cause this costume is the worst. Let's boo this man. Boo! Boo! Boo!
I promised my father on his deathbed.
I'm glad your father's dead. Get off my stage, loser! Boo! Boo! Boo this man! Boo this man! Give it up for the alien! Give it up for Twitchy!
My first Halloween costume was Smash Mouth, and I was so proud of all the work that I did making it, and I cried when everybody thought that I looked like Jack Lambert.
Oh, Smash Mouth is still a popular Halloween costume.
could you give this out to Ricky?
Sure, kid. Next.
Can we take a picture?
Hey, Jake, get this clear out of my face. Sorry, Ricky. Smash's got a long line. Come on, let's go. I'm sorry, man. Let's get you out of here.
I only have $19.
That's fine.
It's not fine. What does the sign say?
$20.
That's right. It says $20, not 19 if that's all you have.
Okay, what if I give him the $1? And then he's got 20. I'll give you the $1. Okay, kid, come up. You got $20?
19, but he just gave you $1.
Yeah, but his money's no good here. Get lost.
It's not what that means. Can I have my $1 back?
Consider your severance pay. You're fired. Give me a shirt off your back.
Again, knocking what that means.
$25.
It says 20.
I'm doing both jobs now, so I gave myself overtime.
Hello, my name is Bernadette Ryan. Happy to be here working on End Zone 2. The set has been wonderful. The crew is just lovely. We have had a couple of issues with one of the actors.
Really, what I think happened was that they ended up cutting Smash Mouth out of the last 20 minutes of End Zone 2 because, I mean, nobody wanted to work with Mikey anymore. Could you blame him?
I am glad I never had to work with that guy.
Mikey Smash was iconic, but I always thought that James Dean would have been a great Smash Mouth. Rebel without a jaw.
Do you have nightmares? Sure. Everyone does. How do you deal? I just know there are a lot of things to keep fighting for.
After Bernadette got that first freak fired, they hired this guy who just sat in the corner wearing a mask all day. He kept going, touchdown. None of us were really sure what the deal was with that.
Mikey Smash was the weirdest person I ever met. And then William showed up.
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Hey, can I buy a shirt?
You can have one.
Yeah?
Want me to sign it?
Nah, thanks.
More like it.
Can I sit?
Yeah.
Sales are a little slow today, huh?
Why am I kidding myself? Everyone prefers Mikey as Smash Mouth.
I don't.
Really?
Yeah, sure.
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
Touchdown!
I heard Mikey fired you. How would you like to be my intern? I don't know that I can pay you as much.
Pay?
I can't pay you.
Oh.
I swear I will fist Smash Mouth as long as I'm on this earth.
Yeah, of course. Sure, I'll do it.
I mean, nobody buys my t-shirts. Nobody wants to buy my signature, and that's free.
Nobody wants Mikey's signature either.
Mikey's essentially painting the tape. So he's taking these blenders and he's signing them and he's putting up fake auctions and he buys them himself. So he makes people think that they can sell these signed blenders after they leave the convention, but they can't. They can't, so they're just stuck with them.
I've been accepting signed blenders from Mikey as payment. It seemed like a solid idea. There's this guy on eBay, his account number is M Smashmouth, and he sells signed blenders for thousands of dollars. But I can't even get $50 for one. So at this point, I might as well just sell them on Craigslist as regular blenders.
Hey, I needed those quarterly reports done at 2 p.m.
Yes, sir. Right, I apologize.
Who the hell are these people? Get out of here, you can't film here. Get the hell out.
What a cheating liar.
Wait, do you want to be a cheating liar too?
I sure do.
I got William to do the same thing Mikey's doing. And I thought he would be apprehensive, but he was pretty into it. Even more so, he wants to add his signed photos with the signed blenders, and it makes it a lot more authentic. And I just mean, these people actually believe that they will sell these things and make a lot of money. But I guess they still won't. You people broke his goddamn jaw! Can't even eat like a regular person.
A cannibal who cannot chew.
How do you bite someone with a broken jaw?
Kind of tough to be a carnivore when you got the teeth of a vegetarian.
If he would just bite people like a civilized zombie, he wouldn't have to blend them up.
The blender thing. I mean, that's brilliant. It's just brilliant.
I guess using a blender is better than if AJ chewed it up and spit it into his mouth like a baby bird.
I wanted to write a cautionary tale about bullying. You mess with the wrong person, they'll put you in a blender.
When he eats the entire football team, we can't really blame him.
I mean, really, who wouldn't want to eat the entire football team?
E ora, caro mio mascella rotta del cavolo, fanculo tu e la tua mascella. Io adesso ti preparo una bella pappina. Wow! Ecco qua. È una bella pappa fatta di occhi, di dita abbozzate e frullate per te. Ciao.
Hey, where are you going? How about $10? I touched it!
All right, so right when William and I started the eBay scam, the first group we get a hold of and the first group we take advantage of, it's a group of clowns. Like actual clowns, which is cool because they're like trying to buy all sorts of clown stuff and they're really into it. Like they probably need like clown noses, clown hair, clown shoes, like little clown props, a little flower, and they actually probably just need drugs.
Hey, you want to take a picture with me?
Will I get a higher price?
Hey, come on, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, touchdown, okay?
1, 2, 3, touchdown.
Good.
Okay.
1, 2.
Okay.
3. Hey, I didn't say touchdown. We're on 1, 2, 3, touchdown, okay?
All right.
1. 2.
How about I just count?
No. We have to savor the moment. You know, like someday you're going to be drinking your coffee at home, sitting in your chair, and remembering the time that you took this wonderful picture with your idol, your screen idol, William Mouth.
Wait, were you in any other movies?
Well, no, just End Zone 2.
But not the beginning, right?
No, not the beginning.
In the middle of the end?
Well, not really the middle.
But in the end?
Most of it, the touchdown part.
I'll check that out.
There's a rumor I'm going to be playing Smash Mouth in the remake of the movie. I can see the headlines tomorrow. William Mouth as the once and future Smash.
I think what you mean is Mikey Smash, the only one to truly portray Smash Mouth.
That's not what the blenders say.
Robert Holler. Miller. Wants the futures. Yeah. What's the futures? Yeah.
William Mouth in End Zone 3. End Zone 3 starring William Mouth. I am the once and future Smash. 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 I am the once and future, the once and future, the once and future Smash. Woo! The once and future Smash. I am the once and future Smash. I am the once and future Smash. The once and future. The once and the future Smash. Once and future. Once and future Smash.
William, come sit down. We have like 30 minutes before the repeat of the Man-Spider panel, and that's something that people actually care about.
Shouldn't I enter after you introduce me?
I don't have time to stand here and wait for you to walk all the way across here at your arthritic pace. Just get in here and sit down. Where the hell's Mikey? Whatever, let's just get this started. So everybody, welcome to the End Zone 2 reunion and reboot panel.
Where's the Man-Spider now?
Yeah, that'll be after this. You'll actually have to leave and then come back in for the Man-Spider panel.
Yes, sir!
But now we have some big announcements about the End Zone 2 sequel or reboot. I don't know, but we basically have 20 minutes to get it done, so let's just get it over with. So first of all, we have the man who played Smash Mouth. Supposedly, he's not in the credits. William Mouth.
Mouth.
Oh, yeah, sorry. William Mouth.
Dear Diary, I was having one of the worst days ever today. I was hosting this panel that nobody cared about, with these two idiots from this movie no one's ever even seen. I was just about to walk off the stage when something magical happened. See, I get this text and they start to tell me that the star of the End Zone reboot is one of the biggest actors of modern times. And who gets to tell everybody? Me.
He's an icon that other icons look up to. He is the archetype of a superstar. He is the blueprint that all other horror icons are built upon. He is the real Smash Mouth. It's an honor, it's a privilege to share this stage, to share this moment with the hologram of James Dean.
Smash is my best friend. I'm gonna be there for him for the rest of my life. And my children are gonna be there for him too.
Mr. Hologram of James Dean. The hologram.
Normally, to make these holograms, they have AI watch thousands of hours of footage. But James Dean only made 3 movies with a total of like 7 hours of footage. So they had the AI watch the same 7 hours on repeat thousands of times to create the most perfect, iconic actor that's only been in 3 films.
We've got to do something. And maybe if we work together. That's perfect. You could be my new AJ. I thought we could work together as partners. I'll call you AJ. AJ!
I promised my dad that I'd assist Smash Mouth, and now Smash Mouth is an actual respectable actor. The hologram of James Dean. Now I can keep my promise and still assist Smash Mouth. I just gotta play it cool with the hologram of James Dean. And he's just a person that happens to be a hologram, which is awesome. Just be cool. Be cool.
When I took over Pa's morgue business and turned it into Diodato Lenzi Labs, I had no idea we'd be industry leaders in nutrition technology. And to deal with the elephant in the room, yes, we are the lab that created the radioactive man, who went a little crazy and bit a spider, giving it human powers they based that silly comic on. But that was a long time ago. More recently, our $20 million grant from the Soylent Green Foundation allowed us to explore the benefits of human meat consumption. While there are many benefits, we found that human muscle contains only 1,300 calories per kilogram. It's an extremely inefficient way to sustain a living organism. In fact, you'd have to eat an entire football team just to stay healthy. But who can eat a whole team? Smash Mouth could!
Now, AJ, look. When the hologram of James Dean walks by, you're gonna jump out and hit him over the head with a brick.
I don't have a brick. Do you have a brick?
Do I look like a brick maker or a bricklayer or even a mason?
You're the one who told me to hit the hologram of James Dean with a brick.
Show some initiative. Must I do everything?
I don't think the hologram of James Dean deserves to be hit with a brick. It's not his fault.
When Cain killed Abel, did they say, oh, it wasn't his fault?
No, but...
Oh, he's making excuses, AJ. Can you do something without making an excuse?
I just don't think the hologram of James Dean killed anybody, and I don't feel comfortable hitting him with a brick. Maybe I could scare him with a brick.
You're gonna scare the hologram of James Dean with a brick. What, is he a brickophobe? Are you a psychiatrist? God, I so miss the old AJ. He would have just hit him with a brick.
The old AJ would never have hit the hologram of James Dean with a brick.
The hologram of James Dean told me I could wait outside the bathroom for him. I didn't even know holograms could use the bathroom, but I guess they go hologram number 1 and hologram number 2, just like everybody else. That makes sense. Hologram of James Dean said that he saw End Zone 2 just the first hour, but he loved AJ. I told him I could be the new AJ, and he loved that. Told me to wait for him. I feel special. I feel so special. Mikey never told me to wait for him. He would just scream at me to go away and then scream at me to come back whenever he was ready. It's like kind of a dick.
AJ, get a brick.
No, AJ. This time I'm in charge and you're AJ.
AJ, you are AJ.
You're AJ. You're AJ. You are AJ. I know I am, but what are you, AJ?
I'm AJ. I've always been AJ. I've never been Smash. I'm just a fraud.
It's okay. I can be AJ.
No, you're the one true Smash. I am AJ. You know, when they fired me from that film, I thought, how are they going to replace me?
They couldn't.
They did. They found somebody better. They found you. So I did everything in my power to make sure that nobody saw that part of the film.
What did you do?
I called all the theaters and told them the last reel had accidentally been replaced by scenes from The Flying Nun, so they only need to show the first hour.
So you sabotaged my entire career.
I tried really hard, but it didn't work.
You think I had a career?
No, but you didn't have a career because you didn't deserve one. Not because of me trying to sabotage it. The sabotage didn't work because you didn't have a career.
Okay.
I wanted to be the one to destroy your career because your smash was so much better than mine. But I failed. Because you didn't have a career. You were always nothing, so I couldn't make you nothing.
I get it. What do you want me to do?
Get a brick.
Okay, I'll get a brick and smash the hologram of James Dean.
No, not the hologram of James Dean. Smash me.
I can't do that.
Smash me.
I can't.
Smash me, AJ.
Did you get that? Will that hold up in court? Okay, Mikey, let's grab a brick and smash the hologram of James Dean together. Smash and smash, smashing as one.
I don't have to be AJ?
No AJs anymore, just smash. Just smash. Just smash.
I see a depth in Smash Mouth that wasn't there before. I'm aware that this is just a cheerleader versus monster movie, but I honestly think the last 30 minutes of the picture could get us an Academy Award nomination. I even think they should change the title of the film to Touchdown.
The hologram of James Dean, he's been taking a long time in there. I'm sure he's just getting into character, definitely. A great actor like that, they have a way of finding a character just very deep inside themselves. They access memories and dreams, anything they can to get an authentic performance.
Okay, where's that hologram of James Dean?
He's in the bathroom preparing for his role.
Let's get him.
No, I cannot let you interrupt this process.
We got a brick and we're gonna hit him.
We don't really have a brick, remember?
Well, don't tell AJ.
Tell me what?
That we don't have a brick.
We don't need a brick, we got our fist. Let's get him!
No.
Mr. Hologram of James Dean! Mr. Hologram of James Dean, some angry has-beens are coming to interrupt your process.
I'll get the brick.
See, I told you the real AJ would hit him with a brick.
Actually, wait, I got a better idea. Let's go.
All right. This is what we're gonna do. Holoprogram the holovirus and then break through the holo firewall. I'm gonna upload it to the holo mainframe and holo route it through the right holodynamic holo gateway to shut down the hologram of James Dean's holo generator holo crystal, thus returning him to the great holo graveyard.
Are you surfing the World Wide Web information superhighway?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Ask Jeeves.
Get on Clippy. He loves to help.
Use Napster.
What about Friendster? Use Friendster.
No one uses Friendster anymore. They all switch to MySpace.
Try the AOL chat.
Check you got mail.
You know, AJ, your modem isn't even working.
How do you know his modem isn't working?
Because it isn't going.
You're right. It didn't go.
Wait, you guys shut up? Boom. Got it.
Let it breathe. England, where you at? Where you at? Shit. London, where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
No. Oh.
The hologram of James Dean's free climbing skills were on impressive display today when he made this daring escape. In other late-breaking hologram-related news, the hologram of Tupac was killed on stage in London, England, when he was hit with a virus. This just in, I'm being told the virus came from a computer called AJ's laptop. The FBI are on the case.
We're harboring a fugitive.
I never felt so alive.
AJ, come out with your legs on and your hands up. Detective Frank
Coming,
Thompson
officer.
does not mess
Hey,
around.
let's fight.
Yeah!
Yeah,
Nice.
let's fight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's fight.
Yeah!
You're gonna have to share the table with Mr. Mouse.
As long as I want to.
I think we're ready.
AJ, because you kicked butt today, I'm so proud of you that I'm awarding you the title of Smash Mouth.
I agree. We've been fighting for 50 years about who's the true Smash Mouth. But I think we all learned something today. The true meaning of Smash Mouth is not who appeared on screen or who the kids get their blenders signed by. It's about having the strength to stand up to injustice. It's about finding the hidden virtue in your darkest self. It's about beauty and honor and goodness.
It's about blending and eating the football team.
Yeah! Yeah! And I want to give a big thanks to both of you for showing me the true meaning of Smash.
You're welcome, AJ. Now, let's get the fuck out of here.
I really hate when directors insert themselves into a documentary. Unfortunately, all of the footage of their cowardly, pathetic attempt at an escape was confiscated. So here I am to tell you the rest of the story. Mikey, William, and AJ, the three true Smashes, fought a heroic battle. At least that's what Mikey keeps writing on his MySpace page. In reality, they ran out of that room ready to rumble, but they were immediately subdued and arrested, of course. And they did not even put up a fight. At the trial, Mikey threatened everyone in the jury pool, everyone on the jury, and everyone in the entire country. Thus, a mistrial was declared, and Mikey and William were acquitted. Meanwhile, the tabloids went wild when, after showing his ability to free climb down the side of a building, the hologram of James Dean quit N.Zone to take on the lead role in the Man-Spider origin trilogy. 3 movies that each tell slightly different variations on the origin of Man-Spider.
So, I thought I'd get back the hologram of James Dean for N.Zone after he finished filming the Man-Spider movie. He'd have a bigger fan base, and with all that buzz, we'd have a guaranteed hit on our hands. We wouldn't even need the fan club. Well, turns out, of course, that the hologram of James Dean got hired to do the Man-Spider trilogy, the origin series. That's 3 movies, all focusing on the origins of Man-Spider with slight variations. So now, I'm just looking for anyone I can find.
Lift with your knees, okay?
Hey, repo guy.
Yeah?
You want to be in a movie? Yeah, you want to play Smash Mouth in N.Zone?
The guy who sells blenders?
Yeah.
I'm seeing these 2 all over the place now. I'm seeing them on park benches, I'm seeing them on billboards, I'm seeing them on social media.
Look, not only am I surprised that William and Mike are both still alive, but now they're actually friends. And they're both billion-dollar blender spokesmen.
Apparently, Mikey Smash isn't dead. Disappointing.
Didn't see that coming.
The plans for the Endzone sequel, starting 1 hour into Endzone 2 and ignoring Endzone 3 and Endzone 3D, were scrapped by Smash Blender, and everyone forgot that they'd already signed a contract with Deodato Lenzi Labs to have the actors who portrayed Smash Mouth do a Blender endorsement. After Smash Blender abandoned the project, ownership of the film and all Blender endorsement rights reverted back to the family of Sneed Crump, the guy who played Smash Mouth in the very first Endzone film. And randomly, Sneed's only living relative was his great niece, Smash Blender intern Snifflin Crump. Mikey and William worked together, miraculously, to sue Smash Blender and Deodato Lenzi Labs to force them to hire the pair as the Blender spokesman.
We have extensively studied hundreds of Blender models and prototypes, and Smash Blenders are the only blenders that could obliterate a whole body and still keep all amino acids and proteins intact for ultimate nutrition. What used to be 1,300 calories per kilogram is now a whopping 13,000. Thanks to this cutting-edge blender technology, it's like eating a football team all at once.
I never used to blend anything, and then I got the Smash Blender. I blend everything now.
Smash Blenders really are the best.
Mikey and William's Blender commercials became viral hits, selling more blenders in 1 year than any company had ever sold before. Chop and puree, and the rest is history.
AJ's not even in the commercial?
Whatever happened to AJ?
AJ pled guilty so he wouldn't have to testify against his Smash bosses.
Guilty!
At the sentencing, Mikey, who was not asked to be there at all, came to try to convince the judge that AJ deserved the death penalty for getting them all caught.
Hang him!
As a result of Mikey's determination, AJ was sentenced to 2 years in prison. While serving time, AJ went to college and received his aerospace engineering PhD. He became the first one-legged man to go to the International Space Station. AJ realized that if he stayed on the ISS, his pledge to his father was null and void.
I swear I will fist Smash Mouth as long as I Mondoos are. Mondoos are. Mondoos are.
He'd be finally rid of the family business forever.
When you need to blend something, try a Smash Blender.
Your mouth will thank you.
Smash Blenders.
When you need to take it to the end zone.
Touchdown!
Now, those guys are not just great selling blenders, they're top-notch karaoke singers.
Michael and Bill, come out here and sing a song for us.
Do you think there's room for a guy like Smash?
He's got a smile with a dream attached.
Look up in the sky, there's a field in.
It's their ceiling. If they only gave him a chance.
A chance.
Thank you to whoever's going deep into history to unearth the secrets of Endzone 2.
Toxic Avenger? It was like Smash if he was the good guy. Well, he kind of was the good guy, though.
Oh, I heard that one of the producers wanted to get rid of Smash Mouth's helmet for Endzone 4.
Read on the internet that they buried all the planned Endzone 2 Coleco cartridges in some landfill in Newark. And Adam Marcus, Dean Laurie, a bunch of us drove up drunk one night to see if we could find them. And all we found was a bunch of Atari cartridges.
Personally, I think they ruined the series with making Smash Mouth the killer.
Our favorite scene is when they cut off Backwood Bob's head and they blend that bastard up. This is classic.
Prezzemolo, basilico, buono.
When I was doing Come Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean on Broadway with Robert Altman, there were many of the stars came up and told me that he had slept with them. I mean, it was amazing. Like the people from Match Game and just everybody had actually had a piece of James Dean. So they described what it was like to have sex with James Dean. And I can tell you after having sex with the hologram that they're all absolutely right. The hologram's great.
Now, Linda pretending to be the Smash Mouth killer at the beginning of the film, that was genius. But having the real killer, Smash Mouth, play the killer in the end, that was really disappointing. That just doesn't work.
The Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo had a 16mm print we'd throw on at parties and do a wild impromptu score to. Those were the nights.
Smash.
Vietnam.